Decided to do this unexpected little live because I need to make some handmade papers. I use this giant gel plate. I want you to see how big this gel plate is. Look at that. It's, I believe, okay, let's pull it out. This is a 12 by 14 inch gel press gel plate. It's huge. Look at that, giant thing. So, and I use that because it makes the biggest papers, and this is how I wrap all of my paintings. So, what I'm gonna do is use this big rice paper sheet, these giant rice paper sheets. And I have some 12 by 12 stencils here. I have a bunch of them from, this one is from TCW. I'm gonna see. Boy, it's almost like so big. I don't even know if you guys can see the live. Let me set you up a little bit higher if I can, because I think you might even be having trouble seeing the whole thing from there. There we go. Maybe you can see a little bit better, like this. Yeah? Okay, so the only thing is I won't really be able to see many of your comments, unfortunately. Is there anybody here that can comment and let me know if you're seeing this okay? That would be great. So I have a brayer. I have my stencils. Like I said, I have some TCW stencils. These are the 12 by 12s. I have some little leaves that I'm trying to see if maybe I could do something with those. These are the decorative leaves. I don't know, but I like wrapping all of my paintings in these handmade papers. So I'm going to start out by putting some, I think we should put down, let's put down some bronze. Now the one thing about this is it uses a lot of paint because of the size of the plate. Woo! Did not mean to use that much. This is quinacridone nickel azel gold. No, they don't even make that anymore, but I still have some. I'm just gonna swirl this and get some pretty tones going on this plate right here. And then I'm gonna lay, look at how pretty that is. Now this is just the bronze, but with that quinacridone nickel azel gold, it sure adds some fun highlights to it. Now I'm gonna say right off the bat, I used way too much paint. I went way overboard. Luckily, the rice paper that I use is really absorbent, so it's gonna pick up some of this, although this would not be my choice to overuse paint at all, of course. Okay, this is a giant piece of rice paper. It's very absorbent. I'm gonna use the smooth side down and just try to grab. Let's lay this down here. Oh yeah, you can just see it soaking it up. Oh, it's even coming through. Look, it even came through on my finger right here. So yeah, I put a lot of that paper down. So what this will do is it'll create a background on this. Hi, Sherry. Sherry says hello. Thank you for saying hi. If you're here, I can see the comments. I just have to look up at the phone, and you know how it is when you get busy painting. So I have an auction coming up on Friday, and I need wrapping paper. I wrap all of my paintings in handmade wrapping paper. It's kind of a little signature thing I do. Look at this. Oh, you guys, this is so pretty. Let me get the light going on right here so you can see. Look at how pretty. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie, there's still quite a bit left. Look at this paper right here. Is that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I think that's so pretty. So that'll be one of the backgrounds, and I think we should go ahead we'll utilize what we have on here. Let's add a little bit more of the quinacridone. And what other color would be pretty? I like the turquoise with it, with that quinacridone. So let's put a little bit of that on the bottom. And how about a little bit of the green gold? I'm using golden fluids, but you don't have to. You can actually use any kind of paints that you want. And then I need a little bit of transition color right here. I'm just using some white. And let's get that quinacridone really kind of clear in and of itself in the center here. I'm going to create like an ombre effect. So here's the white coming in here. And then maybe flip this around. I'll get the white going on right here. And then now we'll do the blue. This is actually that turquoise. Look how pretty. This is going to be a beautiful paper. Now I don't just leave them like this, of course. This is just the bottom layer. If you want to cover it quickly, you do a little swirl like that. This is kind of almost like, to me, has like a jungly kind of feel to it with these three colors. And then I'm just cleaning off my brayer over here on this little sheet. And all right, let's pick up another giant piece of this rice paper. And I'm going to use again not the rough side, but the smooth side down. I have to reposition this a little bit. Come on, Heather. There we go. All right. It's very absorbent. You can use any kind of paper that you want for these, but I love the rice paper. I love the way it soaks up everything. Yeah, and I love the outcome. So it's just very absorbent. And look at this one we just made, if you're just stepping in. This is dried too already, by the way. That's just shimmering you're seeing. It's not wet at all, see? It's really pretty. All right, let's look at this paper. We're getting some of those little bronze shimmers from the first layer that we did. Let's look at that. Oh, that's pretty. And see the shimmers? All of that bronze that it picked up from the very first piece that we did. Leaves would look pretty on this one, I think. So, yeah. All right, so those are two base pages. Let's do a base page in another color. Maybe something a little more unexpected. I have a lot of paintings that are in blue right now, so maybe we could do, what about a phthalo blue and then bleeding into a turquoise and then into, how about like a purple? That would be pretty. That's a dioxazine purple, so that's pretty heavy. And then I just like to add some kind of gold or shimmering quality to it. So in this case, could we put pearl? Maybe like a pearl throughout. Might be pretty. A little bit of pearl in there. All right, here's the turquoise. Oh, that's so pretty. I just love blue. What's funny is before I started painting, I didn't like blue at all. Like, you couldn't catch me wearing it. I wouldn't have it in my house. But there's something about it that's such a forgiving color when you're painting. I ended up really using a lot of blue over the years, and I've been painting now for about 5 years, and I just find myself gravitating toward it. It feels good to paint blue too. The color, like, it just feels good in your body too. I'm just making sure that everything is kind of covered here. And I really like this sort of mottled effect. I think it's gonna look pretty. Again, I'm gonna put this smooth side down, this paper. I have a habit of putting it just a tiny bit off for some reason. And then soak it up. So then what we're gonna do after we have these 3 base layers, I'm gonna go back over it with a stencil. And I'm gonna show you how we do that. Gel printing is really relaxing. I find it really, when I'm busy, after I've made a lot of art, this is how I relax. So a friend of mine was saying, why do you make handmade papers? It's so much work. And it is a lot of work, but it really is a creative break, I guess, for me, because it just doesn't take much thought or effort. The results are always pretty. It's very calming, I think, to work on these. Oh, I love it. Look at all the shimmers you get with that pearl. Yeah, pretty, huh? So now we have these 3 pretty papers that we just made. These will be the backgrounds. So I'm gonna grab some stencils and work on what kind of pattern we might pick up with there. So we could do, like, there's this big tree I've been wanting to do. That would be pretty. Let's try that. And let's see. You have to forgive me while I open this stencil real quick. Of course, nothing happens really quick when you're live. It always takes a minute for some reason. Now this stencil, if you're interested, is the TCW 831 12 by 12 Faithful Tree by Julie Pfeifenbauser. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but that is what it is. Okay. So what we're gonna do with the tree is, I'm gonna lay this down in the center. See if I can actually center that pretty good. Okay. Make sure it's just all pressed down. And then I'm gonna roll some of the color over the top of here. I think I'll go with, let's see. So let's say if we had this as, I'm trying to see which one of the background we could do. If we did this as a background, or maybe this. Maybe we could do some gold. I'm pretty stuck on a lot of the golden fluids. And I do love the golden fluids golds. Really pretty. And then let's bring some color into that. So how about, what should we use? Some red? Would that be too much? Let's try. Ooh, that's a bright red. This is Deco Arts Pyrrole red, so it's really, really red. And then maybe we'll put some dark or some white. And then how about for the trunk, we'll put some burnt sienna on here. That might be pretty. Okay, so because I'm going to use multiple colors here that I don't necessarily want smeared together, I'm going to use this little roller for the trunk. And it's not going to be perfect. That's okay though. And then the other roller I'm going to use for the leaves. I might need just a little bit more paint, I think. looks like. Because I want it to be plentiful enough that it really shows up. Oh, Linda. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Yeah, the gel plates are so relaxing and they just feel comforting and easy and fun and no stress. I feel whenever I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed maybe with painting a lot of things that are for sale, you know, with my auction coming up, I've been really preparing for that, and a lot of things are for sale and you're always thinking about, oh, it has to turn out and it has to be worth this money and it has to, you know, then you have to market it, and there's just a lot going on when you sell your art. So this is a good way for me to feel relaxed for a piece of art that doesn't really, I guess, require a lot of thought or brain power, and yet it's still appreciated and it's still beautiful. Okay, we're gonna pull this off. Oh, that's pretty. So if you went outside the lines a little bit, that's okay. I'm actually gonna put that down over here. So if you went outside the lines a little bit, what I like to do is just get a little, this is a baby wipe, the water baby wipes. And I'll just wipe that part away. Anything I don't want on there, I could just wipe away. But I'm not gonna get too technical. Like I said, this is supposed to be relaxing. So the next thing I'm gonna do is, because we wanna hurry, because we're on camera, I'm gonna use, you could just let this sit, you don't have to actually do this, but I'm gonna use this little blow dryer, and I'm going to blow dry. So watch your ears, it's just gonna take a minute. Let's say it's gonna take like 45 seconds or something. So just bear with me for a minute. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm not trying to bake it on. I'm just trying to dry it enough. Okay, I'm not trying to bake this onto here. You want it just enough that, like, when you touch it, it's, you know, not tacky. I guess that's what we're looking for. So now the trick is, how do I get, this is dry, how do I get this onto my paper? And that, my friends, you can use white paint if you wanted to. Although if I did use white paint, then it would just cover up our pretty background. So I think this one would be pretty with this too. So I don't want to do that. What I could actually use is a matte medium. So I think that's what I'm going to try for this one. Or if you wanted to, you could use an, what's another, like a iridescent clear, like any kind of a clear paint too would work too. But for this one right now, I'm just going to use a little bit of this matte medium because it's what I have right here. So this is basically provides a clear layer. And actually, I would probably use the gloss layer if I was more organized. I would probably use the gloss matte medium. And I just also dumped it down the front of myself. I'm glad the camera's not on me. But I have the matte medium right here, so that's what I'm going to use. But I just want to make sure and get this all over the tree. That's what I want to do. Now this is kind of an experiment. We'll see if it picks it up. Thanks for coming along with me when I do my crazy little experiments. But I feel like it will work because in an inner interference color would pick it up, so why wouldn't this pick it up? In fact, maybe a few drops of this interference gold would be pretty right around the edges to give it, just to add a little bit of light. This is like adding some little light to the tree a little bit right around the edges. I'm just making this up, so we don't really know if that's gonna work. And I better hurry. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna lay this down on here. We're hoping for the best right now. This is what's happening. So I'm using pressure, but I'm not using like a ton of pressure. I'm using, I would say a fair amount though, because I'm really trying to pick up that layer. I really hope it's picked up. And then I do go over it all the way several times in several directions as well. Now, look, if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. It's just a little bit of paint. It's just a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. You can put on some of your favorite music and just kind of crank some of these papers out. They're really fun for collage. I'll show you if you guys want to see really fun painting I've done using these papers. Let's see first. It's working! I'm so happy. I mean, it is working for the most part. See, there's some places that didn't quite work. But it looks like for the most part it's working. Oh, I'm so happy. It's always nice when something works that's like just a total, you know, question. There we go. How pretty. How pretty is that tree? Can you see it? I'm wondering if you guys can see the whole thing. Let's see if I can hold you up, the camera up a little bit. Look at that tree. So this will be a beautiful piece of wrapping paper for someone's painting. I love it. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Is anyone seeing that in the comments, what that looks like? Well, that looks pretty to me. So let's try another one. I do like that tree again, but just for the sake of doing something else. Let's see if we can find one of these others. Thank you, Brenda. Hi, Karen. Ooh, I love that one. Let's do this one. I love this so much. I don't know the name of this stencil. Okay, so this stencil, let's do something really, let's put it on the blue. So let's do something really, how about the copper? I love blue and copper together. So this is the iridescent copper. This is gonna be pretty. And then maybe some of the interference gold on here. And if you just joined me today, I'm making some handmade wrapping papers. And this is what I do when I sell paintings. I make all the papers. It's a lot of work. And, but like I said, it's really relaxing. And I feel like it just gives an extra piece of art, really. I have a lot of artist friends, when they buy my paintings, they take these papers and they make something with them. So it's like an extra piece of art thrown in. Some people throw in like a business card. Well, I'll do that too, but they'll throw in a postcard, I meant, or something extra. This is my way of throwing in something extra. I just make sure all of these lines are covered up. You don't want to press too much because it will dislodge the stencil and then kind of distort the image a little bit, and you don't want to do that. But here we go. This is about the best it's gonna get. It'll just keep pulling back and pulling back and pulling back. You can see when I go over it. And then as I move and shift it somewhere else, it'll pull back. But for the most part, we got the design in here. And then, like I said, this one was a harder design to pull. Let me also set this over here. And I'm gonna get a baby wipe for this one too, because I really do want to clean this up, even though you don't have to, because you know, you don't have to. But my little Virgo mind wants to make this a little nicer, a little cleaner, especially since the design maybe wasn't perfect. I'm just gonna clean up a little bit around some of the extra stuff that really shows that it was a stencil, that makes the straight edge lines. All right. So like I said, you could let these, you can totally let these dry on their own, and that's fine. Or we can use a hairdryer like we did for the last one, which we can totally do. Okay, so here's the, let me see. Hi, Eileen. Looking at the comments, Brenda, I did not make the gel plate myself. I bought it. It is by Gel Press, and it's a giant 12 by 14 inch gel plate. Hi, Eileen. And you wonder why I dried the tree rather than just pressing the background paper directly on the top of the wet tree. I could absolutely do that. And if parts of it are already starting to dry, like there's parts of this that are dry, those pieces won't come up. So it just kind of helps guarantee that transfer. And hi, BM, thanks for being here. So, all right, let me dry this really quick, and we'll go from there. The other thing is, I could do a whole background image. Maybe I'll do that one. We'll do this one a little bit differently for you, so Eileen, so you can see the difference. I'll show you what I can do with this with some colors. We only need about 30 or 40 seconds of the blow dryer on here. Like I said, we're not trying to bake this on. But see, part of that is already dry to the touch. You want a pretty thin layer. Not only because the paints are expensive, but I just feel like they come off better when they're just a thin, even layer. Let's see, this is almost dry. Okay. So Eileen, I'm going to answer your question and show you what we could do with this. So let's say, you know, we already have these background sheets, and I could totally, like, I think it would look pretty on this background. But let's just say we don't have these background sheets. So I'm going to show you what we can do with this. This is also a way to layer. So we could actually, let's use a deep, rich color like, this is alizarin crimson. I think we could use a deep, rich color like that. And what could we fade to? How about, let's go with Indian yellow hue. And then how about, what would be pretty behind there? Purple? Oh. Maybe some kind of a turquoise? I don't know. You guys got anything for me? We got red and yellow. We could do some kind of we could do this gold, I guess. That would kind of create a pretty peach color. maybe a little bit of white somewhere in here. If you put white next to the alizarin, you might get pink, which, you know, is okay. But, all right, now we're gonna layer these colors right over the top of it. So this time, instead of using the clear matte medium, I'm gonna actually layer the colors over the top. And, ooh, I like that. It's so sunny looking. And then we got this dark, rich, oops, I gotta move that a little bit to get that corner. This dark alizarin crimson from the bottom. Hello, I hope I didn't lose you. Can someone comment and see if they can still see me live? I just want to make sure you can still see me live. I accidentally got a phone call. Can anyone comment and tell me that you can still see me live? Or do I need to start this over? Oh, you see me still, Brenda. Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Sorry, I got a phone call. And I'll turn on my do not disturb really quick. There we go. All right. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for saying. Okay, so now here we are. We're giving a good rub down. How many of us need one of those? I do. I'll tell you that much. It is hard not getting those rub downs we need. Okay, so I'm putting a good amount of pressure on there, and the hope is that this is gonna pick up that under layer just like we did with the tree. Okay, here we go. Let's just see if we are, sometimes it peels off a little bit of the paper, but we are getting some of that pattern. Now I'm starting to get some peeling right down here. It might be because maybe I pushed too hard, or maybe it was too wet. I don't know, but I'm gonna pull this all up like this. It's not perfect, but it's one of those things I love about gel printing. If you start to learn how to love that grungy look. Now, this one is not going to work as well as the others. It is not working as well as the others, but it is still really pretty. And I don't know anyone who would be disappointed having their painting wrapped in that. Look at that. Now, look, if you want to go through, like if you're feeling frustrated about like this little area, I'm going to show you a way that you can absolutely fix that. So let's just say you're not excited about the way that looks. I just grab a little brush here, and that's the copper, and I'm gonna literally just put a little bit on my brush. And look, this is for the anal retentive because, you know, it doesn't, I kind of like that grungy look. It doesn't really matter to me. But let's just say you wanted to fix that a little bit. You could go in and just touch up little places or whatever. It's just, it doesn't exactly look exactly the same, but it looks really similar. But for me, I probably wouldn't do this because I don't mind those little variances. So to me, I think it's just really pretty, just like it is. Yeah, look at that. So we have that beautiful piece, we have this beautiful piece, and now we have two pieces of wrapping paper. I'm going to show you something else you can do if you want to just hang out with me for one more second. I'm going to show you something else we can do with those those papers. This piece is in my studio. It's for sale, but no one has ever bought it. But look at all of this. All of this is collage papers. Handmade collage papers. And look at how pretty the shimmers are and all the different colors and all the different patterns. Yeah, so there's so many things you can use. And yes, Brenda, right now I'm using rice paper, and you can absolutely use tissue paper as well. These are the paintings that I'm going to be wrapping. These are all the paintings that are going in my auction. I have all these beautiful paintings. I have a beautiful painted journal. And this painted journal and all these paintings. These are all going in my show. Yeah, and so I just try to make some wrapping paper for these. And then if you don't want to make wrapping paper, you can do something like this, which is collage. I have all these little pots going in these little planters too. There's another one made with collage paper. Or you could do something like this. This is a box that I made with collage paper. And some of my flowers. So I think we'll do one more just because it's fun and I need to get them done anyway. So if you want to hang out with me, ouch, we could do one more. You guys want to see one more, or are you done? Anybody want to see another one? Let me know. Say something in the comments if you want to see one more. No? You guys done? Oh, she says yes. All right, we got 1, 2, 3 yeses. 4, one more, 5. Okay, I got you. Okay, so let's do I love this one, this leaf paper. Oh, it's pretty. So obviously this one is a little, I'd have to center it right. That's okay. I guess we can do that. I could center it like that. Maybe we should do this would be fun to do some leaf colors on here. So what about maybe some sap green hue? This is sap green hue. What about some phthalo green, yellow hue? And then how about green gold? I'm running out of that. Running out of that one, unfortunately. And then how about some iridescent gold? The leaf stencil, let's see, can you see down here? Oh, joggles.com. If you want to write this down, it's 20-33702. Joggles.com. That's the leaf stencil. Eileen. Thank you, Brenda. I'm actually, you guys, I started doing meditation videos. I just haven't shared it with Facebook or anything yet. But everyone my whole YouTube career has been saying, oh, I love your voice and it's so relaxing and you should do meditation. Well, I'm actually in school right now for energy medicine. So I do a lot of meditation. I meditate every single day now. And I really wanted a group meditation, but I couldn't find one. And my teacher said, you should start one. You should start it. And I thought, well, okay. And so I started it. I will share it, and pretty soon it'll be something that anybody can come to if they want to do meditation with me. I haven't started a channel or anything. Right now it's just kind of by Zoom. All right, so now I'm doing this phthalo green in here. Let's put a little bit, this is not enough variation for me. It looks kind of boring. So I'm just gonna make it more interesting by adding some of the white, and then we get some of like the variegated leaves, is that's what it's called. Sometimes I feel like the small brayer, this is the 4-inch one. Sometimes I feel like this one actually does a little bit better job for these stencils getting in the little nooks and crannies for some reason. I don't know. So also a lot of times, like right now, I just have this puppy pad over here that I'm rolling my stencil off, but you can also use roll-off sheets, so then you're not wasting anything. Let me look at the comments. Oh, relaxing for you guys and not for me. I do have to say that I did my first guided meditation. It's weird because I do have to kind of go into a theta state in order to write the meditation, and I really think about it. So it is relaxing, but not necessarily while I'm delivering it. So that's the thing I have to learn, is how I can deliver it in a relaxed way. Okay, so now we have this. And let's just do our little, drying thing. And again, we're just going for dry to the touch and nothing too serious. We're not trying to bake this on, just a little bit of drying. Although I see some of the parts here, I did get quite a bit of paint going on. So if you don't get those completely dry, sometimes that's when it tears the paper. So how many of you sell your paintings? Do you guys sell your paintings? I find it, I love selling my paintings as much as I love creating them, because I feel like it gives me an opportunity to share myself with people in a really beautiful way. You know, let me see if I was going to use some of this fluid matte medium again. If you can just bear with me for 1 second, I might have some gloss matte medium. Oh, maybe I have clear gesso. Let's see. Maybe we should try this clear gesso, Liquitex clear gesso. I don't know. I wonder, boy, this would really be an experiment, wouldn't it? But I know this has a little bit more gloss to it than that matte medium, and I don't want to like dull down the metallic paints that we've built up so far. So the key to doing this is you have to kind of work quickly. You have to make a thin layer. You have to spread it evenly. Then you have to get your paper put down. And then pressing. Let's see, make sure. Okay. I'm going to give this a good press. I don't know about this gesso, you guys. I'm reading it and it says clear gesso. It says matte finish. So I literally did all this for nothing, but it's okay. Yeah, I love the clear gesso because then what if you wanted parts like for me, I'll paint on these wood panels. And sometimes I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to have some of that wood popping through, but you still want it to have that finish, you know, that comes with a painted surface. So if I wanted to leave parts of it plain, it also adds tooth basically. So your paints kind of grab on and stick to it more. But it's non-yellowing and it's water resistant. It's dried. Let's see. Nope, it doesn't work. So now you know that's absolutely not what you can use at all. So what it did do is just kind of dull our paper. That's okay. So now what do? Do we call it ruined? I just don't think so. I think I'm going to give a quick little wipe and see if I can get most of it off. It is starting to smear my leaves. But you know, part of this experimentation is that sometimes things aren't going to work, and that's totally okay. I'm not stressed out. I am, however, going to see, okay, could we maybe let's just add some paint and see if we can pull it up that way. And instead of using a painted surface, add some light right in the center of that. That's how you would add light, just put a real light color in there. So instead of using a painted surface, a painted piece of paper, we would just add the paints to the gel plate like this, and then see. All right, let's see. And this may not work either because there's already that layer, but I want to try. I really don't think that you can ruin it. Oh, I bet they would look good on black. I never thought about that. Ooh, we should do one on black. I never think of using black in my paintings, but that's a great idea. I wish I would have saw that before I put this one down. And I'm such a sucker for metallics too. I'm always using metallics on everything. But I would love to see that on black. Do I tape together multiple handmade sheets to wrap larger paintings? Well, I'll tell you what I do. If I have lately I've been kind of keeping to 12 by 12s or smaller, because it's easier to ship. It keeps the shipping costs down, it keeps the price down, and they sell really well in those auctions on Facebook. Art Healing Hearts Auctions is the group that I belong to right now that I'm selling. Actually, I sell in a couple of different auctions on Facebook. So if I want to wrap a bigger painting though and sell a bigger painting, I use parchment paper that you buy from the restaurant supply store. And then I will like say this is a huge piece of parchment paper. This is like, let's just imagine this is a 12 by 18 or I think that's about what they are. No, they're like 16 by 24. They're big, okay? Then I would take my pretty paper and I might put it right in the center. And I might glue it on there or tape it on there and then put a little border around it. So, you know, or yeah, if I'm really lazy, I could just put two pieces together or whatever. I don't know. I haven't sold a lot of big paintings since I started doing these handmade ones. Okay, so some of these are going to come off and some are not. Again, experimentation. This is how it goes. So see, it's just tearing. We're getting the impressions of leaves, but not all the leaves themselves. And I try to go at different directions if I can see if that'll help, but it's really not helping. Nope. Okay. Now, the one thing, you guys, okay, this is what we end up with, right? And I'm not gonna lie, this looks like crap. So this would be a piece that I would probably tear. I would end up tearing up and using for collage. There is one other thing you could do, is, and I could actually show you, right? I know this, I said I was gonna do one more. I could actually show you how we could save it. I'm pretty much a fan of saving anything that I can. So let me show you, I'll just show you real quick. You flip this over, you get yourself a really, really big brush that holds a lot of water. So like one of these kinds of brushes, something that's really, really holds a lot of water. And then let's say what color we could put, let's just say we decide to do the turquoise, or what color would look blue. I don't know, what color would you like to see fill in these empty spots? Could you see, tell me in the comments what you think would look good if you were gonna fill in those empty spots with a color. What color would you think? Yellow? Blue? Yes, that's one thing we could do. We could put the stencil on top. You know, you could replace the stencil like this, and then, let's see, we could do that, and then just blot over it. You know, I'm a fan of, let's see, blue, green, gold. We have a couple suggestions. Yeah, green gold might be pretty. Kind of like the idea of blue. Okay, so this is what you do. You get a paper plate or a palette or whatever, like just something. And then you're just gonna load some water up into it like this. Let me do it real quick so you don't have to spend forever watching that. Okay, and load water up into it, this. And then paint. Let's just say we're gonna go with the, I have a lot of this color. So this is the phthalo blue, and maybe we'll use some of the turquoise in a minute too or something. So you paint the back. And because this is, now the key to this is you have to use rice paper. This only works with rice paper. But you actually can paint the back. That color will bleed through to the front. This is also a way to get a purposeful effect. Like I have a whole video on doing this on purpose, and it's fun to see. So then look, actually, let's do this part too. It looks really cute. So here's the phthalo. Let's do some of the phthalo turquoise as well. So we'll just get a couple of different variations of color here. Like I said, if you try to do this with another tissue paper, it could tear. One thing about rice paper, it's really strong. It's very absorbent. So it'll work for a technique like this. It may not work, well, it doesn't work with tissue paper. It would just dissolve. Because this thing already has like 3 layers of paint on it. Now, when they dry, they just go back to being just as strong. So some of these places are real thin where they tore, but look, the result is that you get all of that color coming through to the front. So yeah, this is kind of a cool save. And then when you dry, you know, trust me, with a gold ribbon, this is still a pretty, or a blue ribbon or a green ribbon or something, this is still a pretty piece of paper. It's just more rustic, you know, than maybe what you're used to. And anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you for coming with me. And let me see if I can say hi to you real quick. I'm in my, I don't know what I look like. I'm in my painting clothes, but it's nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming along with me today. We made some pretty papers. I love this. How pretty is that? Wouldn't you love to see your painting wrapped in a paper that looks like this? And then I really, really love this one too. Ooh, that is gorgeous. So rice paper is so strong. It's so absorbent. So yes, it's my favorite choice. Now, having said that, I do really like the deli paper. It's really super shiny. So if you use the deli paper, you're gonna get a lot of shimmer, even more than this, if you can believe it. I mean, look how shimmery this is. Deli paper is even more shimmery. So, and it's pretty inexpensive. But thanks so much, guys. Thanks for being here with me, and I appreciate you. Mwah!